Hello, welcome to Learning Life Podcast. My name is Tadisha, and I'm so glad you're here. This is a safe place where we can both learn and unlearn a lot of things about life. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Learning Life Podcast. I'm Tadisha, and today I want to talk about some things that have been coming across my mind, and I just feel led to share it. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of times the things that you don't want to share, a lot of times those are the things that are really probably the most important things to share. In other words, it involves being vulnerable. And I've been blessed a lot when people have been vulnerable with me and shared their stories because it helped me to see my path a little clearer. So I want to talk about a couple of things that I have been learning, and let me jump right into it. I can't pinpoint the exact date. I was, I was, I can't explain how it works. Anyways, I was reading. No, I'm not going to make anything up and say I was reading the Bible. Can I be honest with you? Sometimes it feels like reaching and picking up the Bible is like lifting a 100-pound weight. I can't explain it. It's like, why can't I reach for my phone and waste all my time on it? But when it's time for me to go and reach and read my Bible, all of a sudden, some days it'll feel like, oh, it's too much work just to go and pick it up and open it and read it. And I heard someone preach or say that that's when you need to read it the most, because that's like when something spiritual is trying to keep you from getting your spiritual food. And if you don't eat, you don't have strength, right? So it was about Moses. And Moses was called by God to deliver the people, right? I'm going to go to Exodus 3. I'm going to try to read it quickly. Exodus chapter 3, verse 10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayst bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said unto God, Who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, Certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee, that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve God upon this mount. And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The God of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. Stopping there at verse 14. Maybe I should repeat it because this is what I really want to share. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. Now, when God speaks to Moses and tells him to tell the people, I am have sent you, what's happening is that we see how the people limited God. And when I say that, I mean they know God for being a provider, but in a limited way. So when God tells Moses to tell them, I am have sent you, there's a Hebrew word for it, the name I am. And what it means is that it is infinite. There is no end to it. So in other words, God made everything and he can change everything. He can do anything that he wants. He is. That's why he told Moses to say to the people, I am, have sent you. The thought I had that connected to this was that when you go into the New Testament, with Jesus. Jesus would tell the people, I am the bread of life. I am the way. In Revelations, I just learned this one myself. Revelations chapter 22, verse 13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So, if you connect that to God speaking to Moses in Exodus in the Old Testament, what it's saying is that, how do I say this? God is everything that you need. I am means that He is always present, whether we're talking about the past, the present, or the future. I heard a preacher say, God operates outside of time. It's so deep, and it's deep for me because I've had my share of personal struggles, and I still do. But what this verse says to me is that God is. Like there's an old gospel song that says, God is. He is everything that I need. The same for you. He is everything that you need. God is everything that you need Him to be. If you need resources, He is the resource. If you need love, God is love. If you need peace, He is peace, the Prince of Peace. If you need a friend, He is your friend. As the children of Israel went through the wilderness, they received different revelations of God through provision. And every time they'd have an encounter and a time of a miracle, they would learn a different or see a different part of God. I just want to say that there have been many times in my life when I lacked. And I lacked because I didn't ask God for what I needed. And I didn't ask with the right intentions. As the Bible verse says, you have not because you ask not. And then the intention behind it has to be right. Now, I'm not saying that there's no other way, but I want to share with you a story. Back in 2020 was the beginning of the pandemic. And at the time, I was traveling with my grandmother, and we were in a foreign country visiting. And it was so strange the way things happened. Maybe this deserves a whole episode in itself. But getting to the point, when everything shut down, even the airports were shut down. And so we were stranded. In the area that we were visiting, there was no embassy. And I remember like yesterday calling all the different departments in that country and abroad, trying to figure out what to do. And the more I would speak to different people, the more I would get confused. And as they say, the devil is of confusion. So we finally agreed that we would stay put where we were. And the funny thing that happened was the hotel that we were staying at shut down. And I actually shared a little bit about this on an old Instagram video last year, I think. But in that hotel became like a ghost town. And they gave us like a week notice that the hotel was shutting down. So there was that plan out the window. So the management of this hotel said that they would arrange for us to go to one of their sister hotels in another neighborhood. And, for lack of knowing what to do, we agreed. And so that day, the hotel arranged for us a taxi, and the taxi took us to the place, and we got to the place. And first of all, the taxi driver took us to a hospital. Took us to a hospital without asking us first. So he pulls up to the hospital and says, like implies that we should get testing. But no one had said that to us prior, to getting in the taxi or with the management guy. I went in and started looking for someone to help me and figure out what to do. And finally, I stumbled across the English-speaking doctor, and he said, "Well, you really don't need to come to a hospital. You need to stay in quarantine. You need to stay in your room or wherever, but don't come to the hospital unless you have symptoms." And I said, "Okay." When I left, I knew that this guy was really being shady. You know when someone's just starting to just deviate and do their own thing because they've been given permission to do what they want to do. When he takes us to the sister hotel, it's in an isolated area and away from the city, and we're like, "No, we're not going to stay here." So then we had to decide on the split of a moment what to do. And that's when panic tried to come in. Then we said, well, maybe we're just going to have to leave, even though, we weren't sure how to get a flight and all that. And then that's when we learned the airport was shut down en route to the airport after rejecting switching to the other hotel. And so it was getting later, and the driver was like, you can tell when the attitude is about to change. Like, it's nighttime, you're in the foreign country, and you know nobody. It starts getting pretty threatening. So my grandmother suggested that we stop and speak with a tourist who was happened to be out and about. And that's when we learned that most of the hotels were shut down. And we had actually started going to various hotels, finding out, oh, this one's shut down, that one's shut down. So we were like, what are we going to do? Then someone suggested trying the local, like, bed and breakfast. And I called a number, and a woman answered, and it seemed like she was going to take a reservation with. But when we got to that bed and breakfast, the taxi driver started speaking to the woman. He must have said something to her in their local language, and all of a sudden her attitude changed. And so that was that. There have only been a few times in my life where I've gotten really angry. And this was one of them. And I got angry to the point I was like, just take my luggage out of your car and just leave me here on the side of the road by this bed and breakfast. Because it didn't seem like he was trying to help. He put the stuff out, and there we were, stranded in the middle of nowhere on the side of the road. I called another taxi. He came, and we were trying to figure out where we were going to stay, because a large percentage of all the hotels in that area were closed down. Someone mentioned, try Airbnb. So I made a quick last-minute booking with some host on Airbnb. We got into the place. It was dark. It was a nerve-wracking experience. I went first to check the Airbnb. Everything checked out well. And that's where we stayed for several weeks during the beginning of the pandemic. And so I'm going to finish this story up in next week's episode because it's a lot. It's a lot to talk about. But I want to end it on this note. During that entire struggle, I didn't know what to do, but I hoped in God. I was like, God, I don't know what to do now. What is happening? I have never experienced anything like this before. But we need some place to stay. We need to figure out what to do. And God provided. And it was a place that was better than expected because it had a washing machine, it had a kitchen, so it wasn't like a regular hotel room. And it worked for us because, we had no idea that we'd be staying in that place for, I don't know, it was definitely weeks. And so I share that because as I think about it, it's like I'm reliving it and reminding myself that God always provides. He is everything. All right. I will try to share the rest of this story next week. So thank you for joining me.
This is Learning Life Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you learned something, that you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support this podcast, please subscribe. Thank you so much. See you next week.